so much for your attention. For those of you I haven't met yet, my name is Dr. Babin, and I'm your assistant principal. I feel very privileged to be with you here today as we mark the 20th anniversary of September 11th, 2001. Unfortunately, 3,000 people are not here with us today because of the attacks on our country, and we are here to honor them. Thousands more have died since then in the wars that followed in Iraq, Afghanistan, and around the world. Our world and many of our families have been changed forever by the events of that day. One of our sixth graders here at Northeast is named for her great aunt, who was a flight attendant on Flight 93, which crashed in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. I was living in New York City on that day and saw the first tower fall as I looked down the street from my apartment. So many of your families have personal connections to that day too. The heartbreak that filled that day and the time after has changed our world. And that's where you all come in. Even though I remember that day like it was yesterday, I know you weren't even born in 2001. That means you are the people who will step in to lead our country and our world through a future that doesn't have to include terrorism, needless deaths, and heartbreak. You can lead us to a world where we strive to understand one another, to work together in solving problems, and to include everyone at the table so that we all have a voice. Things happen that we can't predict. They might happen because of choices people make, or they might even be viruses that suddenly appear and put our loved ones at risk. We are living through another historical event right at this moment as we struggle together through a global pandemic. What matters most is how we respond. When we treat each other fairly and with respect, even when we disagree, we can avoid tragedies like those that happened on September 11th and afterwards. When we join together to share opportunities with each other, we create more possibilities for all of us. When we are dedicated to actively listening to one another and to showing compassion for all, we can take pride in creating a better school, community, and world together. For the next 20 minutes or so, we will honor the memory of those lost with some very special performances and important guests. We will hear our talented Northeast band play the Star-Spangled Banner. We will say the Pledge of Allegiance together, and then share a moment of silence for all those who died on September 11th in Iraq and Afghanistan and beyond. Our own seventh grader, Christian Hackett, will play taps, and two of our Liberty High School bagpipers, Logan Daly and Jaden Jukix, will play Amazing Grace. And we are very honored to have Zane Landis, who is now a senior at Liberty and once stood where you are now as a Northeast student, here to share his thoughts on the day. Dr. Quinones will then share a few words. Thank you all for your respectful attention as we honor the memory of the thousands of lives lost on September 11th and beyond. Let's turn our attention to the Northeast Band as we stand, as we listen to our national anthem.
Thank you. Now together, let's all say our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
Good morning. My name is Zane Landis, and I'm a senior at Liberty High School. I am honored to speak to you this morning. Many of us were not around for the events of 9/11 when 9/11 took place, but our lives are still being impacted today. When I was in 8th grade, my class did a project with our families. Our parents were asked to paint a piece of paper the color they remember the sky being that day. My parents reflect annually on the events that occurred and how brilliant blue the sky was that day. When my younger brother was in 6th grade, he interviewed my uncle for a class project about the events of 9/11. My uncle is a retired Air Force colonel and was in the Pentagon when the plane hit. This was the first time my mom could remember my uncle talking about his experience. As my brother interviewed him, I was inspired by the way my uncle and his coworkers rallied together to help the victims of the terrorist attacks. He spent that day helping out where he could. My dad is a firefighter for the city of Bethlehem. He was on call and ready to help the firefighters in New York that day, if needed. Bethlehem did not send firefighters into New York. However, every day the firefighters of Bethlehem prepare to get in harm's way to help others. Both my father and my uncle are role models to me and make me want to be a role model for others. I am proud to say that Northeast Proud initiative helped to foster important skills that I have made me a leader in my community. I would like to share to you how you too can become a leader in your community by following the Northeast Proud initiative. Proud. P. P stands for pride. Pride is the feeling of accomplishment. Have pride in what you do whether you're in the band, on a sports team, or just coming to school. Be proud of what you're doing in these activities. Show up on time, give your best at each practice, performance, and class. R stands for respect. Consider others' feelings, wishes, or traditions. Just because someone else is different doesn't mean they're wrong or bad. By showing respect for others through our words and actions, we can earn respect. This allows us to work together and strengthen our community. O. O stands for opportunity. Northeast is a great place for opportunities. There is a club for just about everything, and if there's not one, Liberty sure does. At Liberty, you can find out what you like and what you don't like, what you're good at, and meet new people. Plus, being involved looks good on resumes and college applications. Also, take the opportunity to build relationship with your teachers. They choose this profession to help students learn and grow. It is because of the relationships that I formed with my teachers here at Northeast and that I was asked to speak to you today. U. U stands for unity, joining together as a whole. Unity is really the backbone of being proud and making Northeast the amazing learning community it is. When people come together, it strengthens pride, respect, opportunity, and dedication. When people are united and proud, powerful things can happen. D stands for dedication, the quality of being committed to a task or purpose. Being dedicated to whatever you're doing builds how proud you are and increases your chance of completing the task. Being dedicated is being a good student. Find an organization that you can dedicate volunteer time to. Show the community that Northeast students can do great things. As we reflect on the events that took place in New York, Pennsylvania, and Washington, D.C. 20 years ago, I want to thank my uncle and my dad for their service to the community and for inspiring me to do good things. I am proud to be an Eagle Scout, a member of Liberty High School Grenadier Band, a Canes baseball player, and a member of the Liberty cross country team, and a member of the BSA Bethlehem Police Department Explorer Post. My role models inspired me and the Northeast Proud Initiative helped to guide me to be the leader I am today. I now challenge you to be Northeast proud and strive to be better students and serve the community. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to everyone who contributed to this Patriots Day ceremony. Thank you to Mr. Rupnick and the Northeast Hornet Band. Thank you to Zane Landers for your heartfelt speech. Thank you to Logan Daly and Jaden Zukitz for their playing of the bagpipes. And thank you to our own Christian Hackett for playing of taps. I'd also like to take a moment to thank Dr. Roy and Dr. Silva for joining us. I'd also like to recognize the leadership of the Bethlehem Police Department for joining us today. As we respectfully return to class in our lives, our thoughts should be on the remembrance of those we lost that awful day 20 years ago. We should remember the resilience and the resolve of our communities to overcome the challenge. Our communities and our country are always stronger when we work together. Throughout our history, when we are challenged, Americans have always come together towards a common goal. United, we stand. That resilience and that commitment to each other was evident in the days, weeks, and months after 9/11. And that spirit still resides within us as a community. We must remember that together we are stronger. Together we move forward, and together we can achieve our common goals. Our marching band will play as our teachers lead our classes grade level by grade level back, beginning with the 7th grade and followed by 8th grade and last 6th grade. I thank you all for your attention this morning.